Welcome.
Yeah.
This is the regular meeting for July 28, 2026 for the Common Council, now in session. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
President Morris. Here. Councilmember Haddad.
Here.
Fernhagen.
Here.
Crony.
Here.
Sarwar.
Here.
Foster. Here. Roberts. Here. Belton. Here. Volo.
Here.
Cousin. Here. Morency.
Here.
Form president. Okay. May I have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the June 23rd public hearing and regular meeting and place them on file? Motion?
Claire.
Sorry?
Claire.
Claire, one second.
You want?
Lola. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any motion carries. Committee report has been posted to the city website as complete. So may I have a motion and second to place the committee reports on file? Lola and second from the one. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. So we're going to begin this evening with an update from Catherine Canada. Catherine has been involved with the project for the ends of the public square. Sometime you are the chair or president of that group?
Co-chair.
Co-chair. So she has come this evening to give us and public an update on how things stand with that. And I believe just a fair amount of activity going on right now. You're waiting for bids and so on. So it should be very interesting.
Yes, okay, loud enough? Okay, good. Just as a reminder, we started, Friends of the Public Square 5 years ago, so it's taken us quite a few years to get to where we are. We started off with community meetings to get input. We did online surveys and, to make sure that we built a plan that was based on what the community was looking for from the park. Raising money is a real challenge. Most of it comes from public sources. I would say very little from private sources other than a few foundations. So that has led us to, we've always planned to do it in phases, mostly because of money. And so currently we're in the process of bidding what we call phase one. I'll summarize that, which those bids are due August 11th. In fact, there was a meeting in the park today with interested contractors, along with our landscape architect, Star Whitehouse. So the first phase it will be new pathways, a repositioned Veterans Memorial to, it'll be on Warren Street. So it'll be more visible, more accessible, because right now we've actually heard stories of veterans falling off the, the tree roots and the sloped position that it's in right now. That also involves moving the flagpole that's there. You probably don't even notice most of the time. There's additional lighting that will be to add to safety in the park. Exactly the same kind of lighting, just more poles. And that is through the generous grant of Michelle Hinchy. There will be some landscaping done, not very much, but wherever a tree comes down, we will be replacing with trees. For instance, because there are pathways coming in from the corner where there's a Veterans Memorial right now, there's a tree there. Actually, there might be more than one tree there. And so those will be replaced. And then new seating, all new site furnishing, so benches. We also have involved, Historic Preservation Committee has to approve various things. So they've approved the site furnishings, which will be similar to the benches down at Promenade Hill. So that is where we are right now. So August 11th, we're hoping to, choose a contractor and, get that going as soon as possible. We're currently working this week on a, consolidated funding, application grant for, to New York State Parks for the fountain phase of the project. So we're asking for the maximum, which is $675,000. If successful, we would expect to, it takes a whole year to get the grant paperwork done. So if we got it at the end of 2026, we really wouldn't see any activity on that until 2028. So that is due this Friday, so we've been working on that. The Riley money that you've heard of is, that's $250,000 for the fountain phase of the project. That also will take some time. That's through Housing and Urban Development, and they haven't even issued the guidance book for that, for those monies. And then some additional Hinchy money is for Blackstone seeding of $125,000 also goes into the fountain phase of the project. All grants are on a reimbursable basis. So I think there've been some things online about the money that we have and where is it, et cetera. It's with the various grantors. It's all reimbursable. So we have to spend the money to get the money. I would also say that the grants are all for very specific design elements, so they can't be redeployed to do something else. So for instance, something is for seating, got to be for seating, otherwise we don't get it. If it's for pathways, it has to go to those pathways as we presented those designs. So that is mostly what I had as a summary. Any questions?
Thank you. Is there any portion of these phases that includes sidewalk work?
Yes, that was hopefully going to be phase 3.
Not the first phase.
Well, it's my understanding that the mayor is applying for a grant this CFA round for sidewalks around the public square
Right.
to expand them.
That's on the agenda for this evening.
Right.
There was some conflicting reports. Some people thought phase 1 included the Warren Street section.
No. Sidewalks are a big deal because I think you have to study like the traffic patterns and stuff like that. But if you go to the park and you look on the Warren Street side, it's very obvious. They're not in alignment with both. Sorry, I'm up and down. I won't say, so I think it's west and east. Anyway, they're not in alignment. So at some point in the past, the sidewalk got moved in.
So you have that as one, the sidewalk piece was part of one of your phases, right?
That was, we were gonna tackle that with phase 3.
So will you be working with the mayor's office to make sure that whatever is being envisioned here fits in the plans that you all have been working on for phase 3?
Yes. For instance, we've always worked very closely with the mayor, the previous and the current.
So, phase 1, once you get everything in and you get your bids and so forth, when will the actual work begin?
I'd like to say the fall. Some of it depends on the contractor. We've asked them to commit to when the work can start, but we'd like to get it done over call it the fall and winter.
Right.
Because the whole park would be fenced in.
Correct. Any other questions or comments from council members?
So as you're doing the work, you are going to fence the.
Yeah, we have to for safety reasons, yeah. And what I call the triangle on the other side of the tracks will be also fenced for, that's staging area for contractor equipment.
Any other questions? Any questions or any hands raised to the public?
No.
Any questions from the public? Okay, well, thank you very, very much. Great to get the update. Okay. First on the agenda is the bills. So last week, as you know, we moved the majority of the bills up to be paid at the informal meeting. A couple of bills came in very small, you have the sheet there, very small dollar amounts. Between that meeting and this, I reviewed them and there are a couple that have due dates that fall before our next meeting. So, that's what you have before you right now. So can I have a motion to pay the bills?
Motion.
One and second, Henry. Roll call.
President Morris,
Yes.
Councilmember Haddad,
Aye.
Fairhaven,
Aye.
Roney.
Aye.
Sarwar.
Aye.
Foster,
Aye.
Roberts. Felton. Volo,
Aye.
Cousin. Moran.
Aye.
Next on our agenda is, Commissioner Deeds. May I have a motion and a second for Commissioner Deeds? Motion one, second is Henry. And, roll call.
President Morris.
Yes.
Councilmember Haddad,
Aye.
Fairhaven,
Aye.
Roney.
Aye.
Sarwar.
Aye.
Foster,
Aye.
Roberts. Felton. Volo. Cousin. Moran.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay. Next, is designation of Register Star as our official newspaper. May I have a motion and a second? Henry motion, second. Dawn, roll call vote.
President Morris.
Yes.
Councilmember Haddad,
Aye.
Fairhaven,
Aye.
Roney.
Aye.
Sarwar.
Aye.
Foster,
Aye.
Roberts. Felton. Volo,
Aye.
Cousin. Moran.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And our next is a, resolution authorizing, transfers, DPW transfers. This is within the water system. We will give this last week, so can we have a motion in a second for the DPW transfers? Henry, motion, second, Jason. Roll call.
President Morris.
Yes.
Councilmember Haddad,
Aye.
Fairhaven,
Aye.
Roney.
Aye.
Sarwar.
Aye.
Foster,
Aye.
Roberts. Felton. Volo,
Aye.
Cousin. Moran.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Our next is accepting senior center donations. And motion, in a second, motion, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Clear.
Clara, and second, Tuan. And roll call vote.
President Morris,
Yes.
Councilmember Haddad,
Aye.
Fairhaven,
Aye.
Roney.
Aye.
Sarwar,
Aye.
Foster,
Aye.
Roberts. Felton. Volo. Cousin. Moran.
Aye.
Motion carried.
The next is, which we reviewed last week. This is the, resolution authorizing the mayor to submit an application for New York State Department of Environmental, Climate Smart Communities implementation. And this relates to what we just mentioned with, Catherine Jamaica, the streetscape around the park. This is a, grant, I believe it is a, matching grant. Yes, it's a $32,000 match, and the total amount proposed is 160 with 32,000 match. And hopefully this will gel with phase 3 of the Fox project, to align those sidewalks. So may we have a motion and a second to vote on that resolution? Motion, John, second.
Second.
Claire, I got you right. So roll call vote.
President Morris.
Yes.
Councilmember Haddad.
Aye.
Fernhagen.
Aye.
Roney.
Aye.
Sarwar.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Roberts. Felton.
Aye.
Volo.
Aye.
Cousin.
Aye.
Moran.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. Our next resolution relates to a New York State environmental grant. This is in order to put together a new or revised LWRP. So as you all know, our last one was done in 2011. We had a presentation on this last week. The final phases of the LWRP last go round never got to the point of getting to the state to be approved. Once you go through the full process, there is monies that you're eligible to apply for once you have one on file with the state. So at this point, what we have before, I investigated whether there's any possibility of simply competing what we didn't do before, but apparently that is not an option because it is too far out of date at this point. So in order to have an LWRP that we can register with the state, this is a necessary move. So any questions on this? Okay. Can I have a motion to vote on the application for the LWRP grant? Henry and second, Debbie. Roll call.
President Morris.
Yep.
Councilmember Haddad.
Aye.
Fernhagen.
Aye.
Roney.
Aye.
Sarwar.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Roberts. Felton. Volo.
Aye.
Cousin. Moran.
Aye.
Motion.
Our next resolution is the police department night out, which is August 4th, I believe. Yeah, August 4th. May we have a motion, a Henry motion, second one, and a roll call, vote, please.
President Morris.
Yes.
Councilmember Haddad.
Aye.
Fernhagen.
Aye.
Roney.
Aye.
Sarwar.
Aye.
Foster. Roberts. Felton. Volo.
Aye.
Cousin. Moran.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. Next is a motion accepting youth department donations. May we have a motion, Jenny, second Claire, and a roll call.
President Morris.
Yes.
Councilmember Haddad.
Aye.
Fernhagen.
Aye.
Roney.
Aye.
Sarwar.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Roberts. Felton. Volo. Cousin. Moran.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Our next resolution is a authorizing application for a mitigation collection grant for a mitigation collection system project. Does anyone have any questions on this one? Okay. Can we have a motion and a second for this resolution? You're the one, the motion, second. And the roll call vote.
President Morris.
Yes.
Councilmember Haddad.
Aye.
Fernhagen.
Aye.
Roney.
Aye.
Sarwar.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Roberts. Sorry. Felton. Volo.
Aye.
Cousin. Moran.
Aye.
Our next is a resolution, a declaratory resolution stating the common council are to authorize sale of real estate. May I have a motion? Jenny, second, Rich, and a roll call vote.
President Morris.
Yes.
Councilmember Haddad.
Aye.
Fernhagen.
Aye.
Roney.
Aye.
Sarwar.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Roberts. Felton. Volo.
Aye.
Cousin. Moran.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay. Next, our favorite, allowing electronic delivery of laws in final form. This would be via email, no more paper except Henry. And And we would receive them 10 days ahead of time. As always, anything gets altered, gets posted on the website. So may I have a motion and a second to vote on this resolution?
Margaret,
Yeah,
can you remind us this need to be unanimous?
excuse me, oh, sorry, thank you. In order for this to pass, all 11 of us have to agree to accept receiving, the local laws on our email. But anybody who wants a paper copy can also have one, not a problem. Motion from Dawn, second. Can we be the second?
I will not. You will get me to vote permanently, but that's it.
Okay, Jason is a second. No roll call.
When?
President Morris,
Yes.
Councilmember Haddad,
Aye.
Carnegie,
Aye.
Barone.
Aye.
Sarwar,
Aye.
Foster. Roberts. Felton. Volo,
Aye.
Cousin. Moranti.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay. Next is a new, resolution, which our treasurer submitted, after the meeting last week. And Heather, you're online, correct, Heather?
Yes, please.
Can you hear us, Heather? She muted?
She's muted, but she's able to unmute herself.
Okay, so Heather, if you could unmute yourself? So in the absence of Heather being able to unmute herself. We discussed this in the finance committee. There is a, need to, let me make sure I get it's an interest payment loan that is due in August. And it relates to the, sewer fund. The sewer fund currently doesn't have sufficient funding to pay this, this interest payment that's coming up. So therefore, it is necessary to move money from the general fund as a loan to the sewer fund until such time as the sewer fund generates revenue. And then when they generate revenue, they will pay back. Oh, she back?
Yeah.
Okay, Heather, am I explaining this correctly?
Yeah, more or less, but I'm happy to take the lead. Yeah, my unmute was grayed out for some reason. Very weird. But yes, Margaret's basically right. There is a debt service payment due on August 1st for a little over $167,000. That's an annual payment we have for the wastewater treatment plant. Nothing new there. When I went to go make the entry for the wire transfer, I realized there was only $177,000 in the bank. Obviously, there are other expenditures that we have to take into account, like payroll and, expenses. So this would be a temporary interfund loan, which the sewer department would pay back once it has enough cash on hand to do so. This happens. It hasn't happened recently with the sewer fund, but it happens on a pretty regular basis with the water fund. So I've already also reached out to Rob and said, hey, if there's revenues, if there's sewer fund revenues out there that, maybe aren't coming in on a timely basis, like particularly leachate, and asked him to take a look for that. So we're trying to manage it. But in the meantime, we absolutely need this in order to make sure we can pay our debt service and to have enough funds left over to cover things like payroll.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, can we have a motion in a second? Or motion is Jason, in a second? Henry? And roll call vote.
President Morris,
Yes.
Councilmember Haddad,
Aye.
Carnegie,
Yes.
Barone.
Aye.
Sarwar,
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Roberts. Felton. Volo,
Aye.
Cousin. Moranti.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Excellent. Our next motion, we have a number of fee schedule things that are on the floor this evening. However, last week we had a resolution from Director of the Youth Department, Calvin Lewis, regarding fee schedule. I had a couple of questions. We will update this, it's PDF, so I couldn't update it. Had a couple of questions about periodicity, so he responded back and gave me that information. So basically the fee schedule for the open gym is per day. The swim lessons are per session. Sessions last for 2 weeks. So if you enroll in more than one session, that fee is for each session. And then the youth basketball and youth soccer are seasonal. So that this will be updated to reflect the periodicity of that fee schedule. Any questions? Okay,
Yes. New?
yeah, go. Sorry.
Are these all new or are they changing?
I didn't get the history, not all of them, I think some of them are changes. I believe for some time, the basketball and youth did not have a fee per term, if I'm not mistaken. But that was something, this may be new this year, but that was something that was not there before. Was there a number of years ago and then, but now it's true. I don't have the history, so I can't answer your question. Any other questions?
Were these chosen by you, all these different fee schedules?
No, the one from the youth department, came from the youth department. All of the other, fee updates were worked on by the finance group. So they're coming from finance, and we just reviewed them in finance this evening before this meeting.
I think some of them.
Well, right now, we're just talking about
Just the youth part.
we're not voting on anything else tonight. We're just voting on the, resolution from Calvin.
We're not doing the other.
We're going to talk about them.
Okay. We're not voting on.
No, we're not voting.
Okay.
Yeah, no, okay, that's good. So any other questions on the youth department, please go ahead. Okay, do you have a motion and a second vote on the resolution to copy? Gary, motion, second.
Okay.
Rich? A roll call, vote, please.
President Morris,
Yes.
Councilmember Haddad,
Aye.
Carnegie,
Aye.
Roney,
Aye.
Carver,
Aye.
Foster,
Aye.
Roberts. Felton. Volo,
Aye.
Cousin, Moranton.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay. So now, before we go on into the local laws, why don't we look at the other fee schedules that they were sent out last week? And I got feedback on a number of them, so we can go through each of these. So clerk's office, fee schedule. Feedback on that was, the finance committee got this information from, mainly from the clerk's office or from what was on file. But the mass gathering permit is currently at 200. So we will update that to reflect that that's not going to be a change because mass gathering is 200. The fireworks permit does not actually exist. The process for fireworks is because it's a volunteer fire department, the reason you don't see anything in the fee schedule is that a donation of $500 is made to the fire department because they have to be present for any affirmative fireworks event. So we will be removing the permit that we have for fireworks. We want to relook at the auction fees. Currently, that is set at $25 per day per auction. So we want to just set that to a dollar amount per auction. And the most important thing in that is eliminating the necessity to produce paper. We have to change the code on this, but to produce paper catalogs, because neither auction house in town actually produces paper catalogs other than for the city. They have everything archived, it's all online, it's all accessible back in one case 15 years, in the other since they started business. So that's all available in terms of record retention. So that's the update, that's the information I got from the clerk's office. Does anyone have any questions about the fees from the fee schedule for much of this is set by the state. So there's not a lot of changes here in the parks office fee schedule.
Some are very old.
Yes.
Like municipal parking permit,
Excuse me?
looking at the municipal parking permit, 2012, 2012.
Yes, that one of the reasons we're doing this is that some of these have not been touched for over 10 years. There were some updates in 2020. You'll see in some of them local law 2020 addressed some of the parking ones, but many of these have been untouched for very long.
Would something like that be talked about before we approve it? Like what I'm asking, yeah, can something be done with that number? What's happening next?
Which one are you looking at?
The very first one, the municipal parking. Is that, what's next with it? Are we just?
Increase that, do you know, increase the municipal parking?
Isn't there a new rate? That's now in the parking bureau. They have a new rate for that.
I
Very service.
thought that they were working on that with
On
you
the
guys on the finance department, but yeah. So that one, you guys need to properly.
Yeah.
The permit process needs to move over to the parking bureau.
Right.
It's currently still with the parks department.
Okay.
But that, I agree with you that that is something that when we move it over, should probably be modified.
Pretty sure we did.
As we adjust the fees, should we
Yeah,
not
we did.
adjust the code language?
Oh, it has to be, yes, that's why we're not voting on
Well,
this.
each item.
Yeah, well, some of,
Just the fees.
no, but some of them require code updates, some of them do not.
Gotcha.
So, all of the things associated with the fines require code updates. Everything relating to the auction houses requires code updates. Some of them are not mentioned in the code, some of them. Okay, so that's just, it goes by schedule. And that's why, you know, review, give me comments, we'll come back, we'll have proposed local laws if necessary, code updates as necessary. Jenny?
There were, suggestions made by the, ad hoc, our committee, in our proposal. I don't know what happened to them once they made their way to the parking bureau.
Okay, well, we could definitely look at that honestly. Okay, the next one is, and this is the one you think should have come to your committee, I believe. The next one is code enforcement.
I think all of them should be discussed at those committees, just because they have a little more insight initially, just to make your work a little bit less
Oh,
complicated.
Richard Ford, he's Mr. Finders.
Well, Mr. Finance, just to make, for example, I think code might have a good suggestion on.
I got input from Nick, yeah.
And-
Well, actually, when we were developing this one, we sat down with Craig, and Craig came up with most of these fees. And then when Nick came in, I sent it to Nick for his input, and he wanted to change some of them that he wanted to set back, so.
Ripley was referring to was going to refer to the parking ticket fees.
We're gonna get to that one.
Yeah, that's the one
Yeah, no.
might have a little more insight.
Okay, hang on a second, let's talk about it.
Got it.
So on code, the things that Nick wants to leave as is, he does not want to change the title search. Plumbing fees, he wants to leave the 300 application for any company outside of Columbia County and remove the exam application and renewal fees. As you know, we don't really have a board of plumbers, and it is physically impossible to take the plumbing exam. So that's kind of a redundant thing. The application fee and the additional fixtures fees relating to fixtures, this is something that Craig went through with us to simplify the whole process of pricing for fixtures. Building permit fees, he agrees with as proposed. So I'll be updating this based on his feedback. And yeah,
What do you say on the plumbing?
so the old plumbing situation.
Yeah, it's 100, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, so what we had wanted to do with the plumbing. The current, let me see, how we find this. Currently, a non-resident application fee for plumbing, which is somebody who is not licensed as a resident plumber in Hudson. So you want to use your plumber for a permitted job. You don't want to use one of the ones listed.
Right.
You have to pay $300 per job to use your plumber.
Okay.
And we wanted to reduce it to 150, which Craig agreed with. But at the same time, and the logic for that was, we were going to keep the renewal fee for folks who are registered. And so if the permitted fee, if that was, went away, there'd be no incentive for the people to continue to renew their listing as resident plumbers. So that was the logic of doing that. In reality, a job that requires a permit is one that requires actual plumbing. It's not like fixing a leak or,
Yeah.
right? It's an actual job.
Yeah.
And so 300 is probably, in most cases, are probably a fairly expensive job anyway. So he wants to leave it at 300, so I think that's fine, but he also wants to eliminate the fees associated with the renewals and licensing. So I think that's fine. The fixture piece was different, that was very complicated. It was based upon additional fixtures, over 20 fixtures and so on. This has not been updated since 2011. And what Craig was looking at was, well, typically you're looking at any kind of job that's more than just somebody putting in a couple of fixtures in the house. It's going to be a large number, and so we simplified it to be up to 4 was X dollars, and then anything up to and including 20 is $10 each, because that just makes it simple, easy to do. Any other?
Is there any sense of income, and are we trying to offset any costs with these, or are we just putting numbers in?
In this case, well, in this particular case, it was, some of them you'd see that we're suggesting some increases. The one with regard to fixtures was really a question of simplifying something that was very.
No, I mean overall, just like,
Overall,
do we collect, how much do we collect on the
overall,
building permit?
Rich, do you want to talk about this?
One of the issues is that, like, especially with like parking tickets, after the 30-day period, there's no increase after 30 days.
I guess I'm talking,
No, it's probably with that,
like,
On the phone,
how much do we collect on building permits? What is code enforcement take in?
No,
Then are we at all concerned about trying to cover some of their costs, or is it just, this is the drop in the bucket and?
the permits this year, I would report to said that we were down. You know,
Yeah.
but how do we, I would explain that because there's so many different factors, like explain why it's probably completely down for this year, what's the action next?
It depends very much on whether there are any big jobs going on.
But what magnitude do we collect? Do we collect 10,000, do we collect 100,000?
we're closer to that people.
There is supposed to be there is supposed to be a connection between what you're taking in at fees and the actual cost of administration. It's not supposed to be your profit center, because then it becomes a tax. I mean, I think it sounds like your revenues don't even begin to approach your thing. So I think you're fine here, but that is the principle.
The problem with code is there is money outstanding that we do not have the employee resources to recoup those losses. There are fees that we're not collecting because we simply don't have enough code enforcement personnel to go and seek those fees and keep on all of the projects in Hudson. So we are in fact missing out on revenue because we do not have a sufficient staffing.
Do you know the revenue?
I can tell you how many permits brought in for 2026 with 3,000, to be honest.
And turn it a little.
Yeah, and for 2026, we had budget was 20,000 permits. So we're looking at 60%. That was just.
Yeah, we just, I'm the treasurer's report, we get these every month. That's what we need to do at this point, honestly.
I'm sorry,
So-
Margaret, the plumbing thing is crazy to me.
I'm sorry,
The plumbing permit thing is crazy to me. The fact that only plumbers within Hudson don't have to pay a fee. But then plumbers, if you ever tried to get a plumber here, it's impossible. So then you're calling somebody in Chatham to come do your house thing, and if they do the right thing, then they're gonna pay the city $300 or $150. You get, that gets passed on to the customer. Or the plumber himself is getting a hit, taking a hit. I don't think that's okay.
So what Nick suggested in his email was any company outside of Columbia County.
Okay,
So the term resident doesn't necessarily mean resident.
in Boston. Okay,
It's a term that's used to describe the plumbers that have been determined to be resident by the Board of Plumbers, which doesn't really.
I have a friend that tried to get it. Sorry. I had a friend who tried to get a plumber to come to her home and called someone outside of the city of Hudson, and they thought they were going to have to pay this $300 fee. And all she wanted to have done is have her dishwasher hooked up.
No, that's,
She didn't
that's
need,
not
she
far
didn't
from me.
need a permit for that, and she didn't need to pay $300.
Right, you don't need a number.
You do not need a
Well,
permit to do a hookup. There's only,
If you don't know how to do it, Henry, do.
no, you don't need a permit.
Okay,
Okay, permits only apply to actual plumbing. You are putting in new plumbing for a bathtub.
okay,
You have
Okay.
plumbing, but you want to install a new bathtub. That doesn't require a permit. It requires a work permit, it doesn't.
but then maybe the plumbers themselves don't understand what this entails.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do for the code enforcement schedules. I think, should it go
We're going
to,
on Monday.
should it go to your
Sure.
committee?
We can talk for a few hours.
Okay, great, fantastic. I'll send me an invitation and I'll
It'll be Monday at 5:30. All are welcome.
Okay.
Come on, take a coffee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Few hours of fees discussion.
Okay, there wasn't really anything in, we didn't make changes in planning board and zoning, so that is all as is, those were not revised. Now I want to talk about parking violations, because we did get feedback on this, so with regard to, sorry, excuse me,
Not violation.
no, these are, parking violations.
Oh, okay.
So these are fines, so
Oh, okay.
this is not parking, how much you pay to park, these are
Oh, okay.
strictly violations.
Very good.
So for this, finance works very, very closely with the police department.
Excellent.
We looked, some of these have been updated, the last date of update was local law in 2020. We looked at, what the incentives were as to whether or not somebody would actually pay the fine, because as you know, we had a very substantial amount of money, close to $1 million in unpaid fines. The police department is now making great inroads in solving that problem, but there was very little incentive, which Rich just mentioned, to pay a fine. If you didn't pay it within 30 days, it went up, and then it stayed at that level for all eternity. So what we put in, and the police department, the parking bureau, is contracting with collections agency. So what goes in now is that after 30 days, whatever the fine was, it doubles. It triples after 60, and then it quadruples after that, and after 120 days, it goes to collections. So this way, people are incentivized.
No, that's,
That's that much.
I'm sorry, it's very humorous to me because the city voted this down 15 years ago and did away with with compounding fees, which is not right. We should still have compounding fees, but it's nice to have it back again.
Yes, but also the other thing is that, again, a staffing issue. At the moment, you get a notice of 30 days and then you never hear about it again. Right, so that was another problem. Okay, so when we were going through these, what we were prioritizing was making the fine be sufficient that the person would not commit the violation, right? So roadside parking is currently 15, 25 makes that. The other thing we really focused on were safety issues. So you will see, fire zone, we increased from 50 to 100. Recommendation I got from Dominic was to increase that to 125, which I think is fine. We had, let me see, crosswalk, we increased to 35. No parking zone increased to 35. alley parking 20 to 50. We do have a significant problem right now with alley parking. That's safety issues for vehicles, emergency vehicles trying to get through the alleys. The bus stop one, we increased to 25. Again, that's a pedestrian hazard and so forth. So that one went from 10 to 25. So this was reviewed, approved, et cetera, done in conjunction with the police department. Any questions, recommendations for other changes? Jake Scott.
I would like to see crosswalks parking up to 50 like some of the other ones.
We're
I think that is a safety,
Crosswalk,
yes.
so
Yeah,
you would recommend 50?
I'd say 75 even, why not?
that is looking at the other ones.
Well, it's like the most egregious at, handicap parking and
Yes.
then what, let's make that 150. I mean, handicap parking is free in Hudson, so if you're parking in one, bang them twice, 150, I don't know.
No, the thing is, I think we keep the handicap parking the same because it's free anywhere.
Yeah,
It's opening that up, so
Right.
so hopefully they're not gonna be parking in the handicap.
hopefully
parking.
not, but that's like even more insult to injury.
Oh, I agree. But, I mean, it's up to you guys, I mean, match it in the 5%.
So here's what I'm gonna ask you to do. I would like you
Yeah,
to
that's
submit to me your recommendations. Dominic submitted a recommendation to increase the fire parking to 125. Please submit to me in writing within the next week what your suggestions are. We review them with the police department. The other thing that was part of this discussion was comparing our fees, our fines to other municipalities, because we don't want to be in that problem.
Mhm.
So that was part of what went on. But this one, you will have a local law. Next week, next month, I have to update the code. This is actually in the law. So I would like to get comments within a week, so I can review them with Chief Franklin and with Rich, and then we can move forward with this.
Great.
Okay? All right. Let's see, I think we are now on to local laws, am I correct? Yeah. Okay. Our first local law, we discussed this is, increasing the dollar threshold for BEA in council approved budget transfers. Okay. So this has not been updated for a long time. We reviewed this, it increases, to 2,000, for departments and, up to 5,000 for, 2 members of the BEA. And then after that, it comes to the council. Any questions or issues with that? Okay, can we have a motion and a second? Sorry. Motion, Henry, second, Trish. The roll call vote. Logan, did you have somebody with a hand up or something? Okay.
President Morris,
Yes.
Councilmember Haddad,
Aye.
Parhagen.
Aye.
Roney.
Aye.
Sarwar.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Roberts.
Aye.
Belton.
Aye.
Volo.
Aye.
Cousin.
Aye.
Moranton.
Aye.
Okay, our next is similar. We had written in 2 places in both code and the charter split across both regulations regarding procurement policy. And, rather than having it hard coded as a fixed amount, it has been revised and it's in the charter to be compliant with New York State procurement law. That way, if that gets, we haven't changed it in, I don't know, 20 years. That way, if New York State increases thresholds that require bids, et cetera, we will simply be in line with New York State law. So, any questions, objections? Can I have a motion and a second? Do you want a motion, second? Jason is a second. So we have a roll call vote.
President Morris,
Yes.
Councilmember Haddad,
Aye.
Parhagen,
Aye.
Roney.
Aye.
Sarwar.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Roberts.
Aye.
Belton.
Aye.
Volo.
Aye.
Cousin.
Aye.
Moranton.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay. Let me see what your agenda looks like. Sorry, okay. So on old business, I had introduced a couple of months ago, that we were going to form a, progress commission. And you have for discussion a, proposed draft of the law, which establishes, a charter revision commission. There are basically three ways to approach, charter revisions. The mayor can appoint a commission. The, common legislative body, the town council, can appoint a commission. Or, a citizen group can form, go through a process of getting petitions signed and so forth. End of the day, everything ends up on the ballot for a referendum. So, what I am proposing is that the common council establish a charter revision commission. This would be made up of 7 members. When I announced this a couple of months ago, members of the public approached me and expressed interest. So there are 5 community members currently willing to do this work. I would like to serve as not me, but the president of the common council as ex officio. And I believe this, right now it's, president as ex officio. I would like to amend that to indicate the majority lead of the common council is also ex officio. All members have voting rights. Whatever document comes forward will come back to the council anyway. And I don't know, Ken, if you want to give us some, overview on that, but first off, do we have any general questions about forming a commission? Yes.
I would like to see this be more open and public kind of thing. I would like it to be. I liked Peter Spear's suggestions around this, just because it would involve more people from the community and it would be, more inclusive.
Right.
And I don't know who these 5 people are, and I don't know, if they represent our community, wholly enough. That is the thing. I mean, that's my only concern, is that whoever we choose to be on our commission, it really represents our community.
So these are all people who raised their hands and said they were willing to do the work.
Okay.
Nobody was been excluded.
But
That's the first point.
I didn't see this posted on the hub, I didn't see it, I haven't.
I announced it a couple of months ago, I've talked about it. The mayor made a statement that he was not going to do a commission. It's out there that we need to do a commission. One of the things we talked about in finance a little earlier, was, a very high priority to me is the fact that the budget and BEA process isn't as written, it's not working. So that to me is a big one. And I think to understand what's involved in, undertaking vision to a charter. And the reason I have not named these individuals publicly is because I first of all need to get the council to agree to a few. And then we can.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I'm sorry, first of all, the council has to agree to establish a commission. Our charter is it's antiquated, it's inconsistent. It is, there are things in the charter that belong in the code. The charter should not have really pretty details relating to, things that are, then you have to go back and change. Should be just part of the day-to-day administrative business of doing business, of running a government. The charter should be a framework. That's not how ours is written. Things get thrown into it that don't belong there. And the charter still has language saying that we have proportional weighted voting. It was never updated. Things that I go back to that, when we have something that was changed or updated, and I go back and check the charter and it never got updated in the charter. So it's a mess. And
I also agree with Jenny's point, though, like it feels, the process feels backwards. I feel like if we approved a commission, like we agree that there needs to be charter revisions, but not having a pre-selected group
But
of
they're not-
people.
I think we should have options to take like no from the council.
It's hard to fully reflect Hudson with 7 people.
I was gonna say, how did you come up with just 7 people?
Mainly based on the fact that in order to get work done, if you go much beyond, like anything over 11 is crazy. But if you want to actually get work done, you need to keep the team, focused and relatively tight. And so how this would work is that you work on portions of the charter. This month, we're gonna focus on this section, and we're gonna focus on this section. People have assignments, they do homework, that's how it works. So, as Jenny wanted to make a suggestion.
I just want to make a suggestion. Perhaps we should do this in a way that, you know, each ward has 2 representatives or something like that, just be, and just be. Yeah, so that they're not all coming from the same socioeconomic background, that they are different types of people. Like I was very concerned when we got the first attempt at a charter revision, or because they all looked the same.
So, here's,
The ad hoc truck committee and just an example, and the Garrett's, committee, the board, they all had some defined, like the mayor appointed one, the council president appointed one.
Right, there's a formula.
So the formula.
right, but this is following New York State structure for how commissions are established. And a lot of language in here is coming from New York State. I sent you all guidance on how it's done. And the other document that you have is provisions for adoption. This is actually following what New York State.
Well, this discretion,
It's not-
Yes.
that's the thing. A lot of it is dictated by New York state law, but the number of members and the means of making, you know, appointing or designating is within the discretion of the local law creating it, so. But then once they're in place, a lot of it is dictated by the state, the time frame. They're supposed to look at the entire thing, they can put it together in multiple proposals, like there's a lot of. Once they're established as a commission, a lot of what they do is just New York state law.
So,
But yes,
here's
the
what
number
I'd like to propose.
Needs the appointment is discretionary.
I would like to propose, listen to what you've said. I would like to take this, send me your comments. I will make revisions. This is a draft, but we need to have a charter commission. I hear what you're saying about having a representative from each ward. So potentially, each ward, you get together and you, try to get a community member to step forward. Actually getting people to step forward and do this work is not that easy, because it is in fact a lot of work. So that's a thing. And I talked to everybody who raised the hand. I didn't exclude anybody. And
I'm
that's,
not suggesting that,
no, I know you're not, but I'm just pointing that out in that, you may not find it as easy to get someone from your ward to participate as you think.
I have
I've got a bunch of rabble rousers,
Excuse me?
and they would love, I'm sure we could find.
I don't have the list of the ward representation. But I'm not going to get into that right now. Send me your comments. This is a draft. I will work on it. I'll circulate it. We'll look at it again. One possibility is to have, the 6 members, 5 that have step forward that I want to appoint, president of the council, and then someone from everyone. That's an option. We could do it that way. But just read the materials, send me your comments and read them carefully. Both the document that I sent you that laid out guidelines and the document that was attached for this evening, which is provisions for 36 of municipal laws, provisions for adoption of new laws. Right?
Are you also kind of narrowing the scope
Or is this?
Well, that's gonna have.
You're gonna reread the whole thing?
That's gonna have to be the first thing that the commission decides on, is to focus on what we need to be working on. Like my number one priority, which I've said time and again, is the budget process. It's broken. And,
I'm saying for at least, when we're establishing the commission, should we not give them
they
some
have,
targets?
yeah, well, yeah, that's,
Rather than just
Right.
leaving it open-ended?
no,
The
this
statute actually, it does specifically say that they have to review the entire thing.
they have to review
But then
everything.
they don't have
They
to,
don't have to
they
fix
change
it,
on everything, so they.
they have to review the whole
Go
thing.
for review the entire thing.
But I think we need to focus on certain elements of the charter that are dysfunctional.
Yeah, and then should we write that into the local law? Focus on these first, and then you have.
I think the place for that is probably in the first meeting of the charter commission.
Because once it's established, it's out of our hands.
No, it's not,
Right?
everything has to come back to us, and all
The
meetings
work-
have to be public.
The work is, so.
But you know,
Okay, let me think on that.
if they're reviewing the entire charter, I can't help you know, let them to come to us and tell us what they think needs to be
Yeah,
worked
yeah,
on first. They've just done a total review versus our coming in and saying, hey, from the outside. So
And hopefully all of you have read the charter. I say, listen,
And after they come up with the
I know
budget,
some of
then
them.
if we need anything like, in requirement.
Yeah.
Yeah, put it with them. Yeah.
Okay, all right, so let me take this back, think about it, send me your,
Oh,
you know,
we got it. Okay.
I know, send me your comments. I just want to wrap up the council piece of this, and I will do more work and get this back to you. So Logan,
Yeah, I got some on mine, Ron,
yes,
Yes, hello, Matt McGee and I both have some initial responses to this. I would like to point out, first of all, that there is what is referred to as a third method of revising a city charter. This is in a pamphlet published by the state called Revising City Charters in New York State. And just for your information, I'm not necessarily endorsing this, but it says, see if I can find it. It's on page 5. A third message of revising a city charter is by direct action of the legislative body under its local law power as provided in Section 10 of the Municipal Home Rule Law. Although this option is infrequently used, it is possible for a city council, for example, to proceed directly to revise the city charter in this manner rather than by creating an independent charter commission. In this case, the city council, in effect, constitutes itself as a charter commission and proceeds, usually through its own committees, to accomplish the amendment of revision of the charter. Whatever changes are agreed upon are then enacted by local law, subject to mandatory referendum or referendum on petition, if so required by the Municipal Home Rule Law, sections 23 and 24. So I offer that for your information. I also
so
have,
Ronald,
pardon me,
thank you very much,
may
thank you very much for that.
May I
For your
continue?
information, that document has been circulated to the entire council, that was
Okay,
part of
so
what I used.
and I hope the council,
Every member of the council has a copy of that document.
I hope the council has reads through the whole thing because it goes on about various issues that you have
Yes.
already touched on here.
Yes,
Now, I have, various other questions about the procedure that's been carried out up to this point. I would be interested to know how many responses you got to your request for volunteers to serve on the commission. Did that have any effect on the enumeration of 7 members, for example?
on determining how many were needed.
Yes. How
No, I
many
had-
responses? How many
well,
responses did you
everybody,
get?
there are 5 people who responded that I met with and that I would like to put on this commission.
So then only
and,
5 responded.
But
Is that
in
correct?
the event that more of people than that had responded, I would still favor a very small group because I know the nature of the work that has to be done.
So it was not more than 5?
That's correct.
Okay. So
Okay.
only-
Now, I have another question. Did you attempt, or at the suggestion of other people, try to solicit volunteers, as it were, from among people who had not volunteered. If someone said, say, I can't do it, but I'd like somebody so-and-so to do this, if they would, agree, did you reach out to other people who might have been suggested to you?
So I'm not going to get into that, Ron. Thank you for your input. I'm gonna, I've listened to what the council has to say. I'm going to go back and rework this. Are there any other hands raised, Lovely?
Matt wants
Okay.
to say something.
So, yes, go ahead, Matt.
Yes, I believe this is an important issue for the citizens of Hudson. I believe there should be a public hearing on starting up a commission. And there also should be a public hearing on vetting people who will be on it. And I think a quorum of 4 is rather low. And I don't think you should be trying to accommodate rapid response or conclusions. I think this is important enough that there should be a broader consensus. I really, and some of the things in the rules of carrying on the meetings or whatever, I find rather dubious. Section J and possibly, I'm not sure, but E are bothersome. And I think this really needs public review. There should be a special meeting and everyone should be welcome. And I think it should be done with a broader consensus.
A local law would require a public hearing anyway. I agree with you. I think this is a matter of significance for the city. And I take it very seriously. And it was something I've given a great deal of thought to over the last year and a half. As you know, I've discussed it with you at length. I will be happy to receive any comments in writing that you have relating to this. And I'm going to incorporate what I've heard from the council, and we will come back and we will have a revised version of this law to look at. Any other hands raised? Okay, in the room, comment?
Oh, boy, we're all getting. So, yeah, the charter was kind of a hefty document. It would, however, you know what I'm trying to say. I personally feel like these 5 people should be identified. Because if they were hot, step up, they may be just like that prior, effort. And, I don't think that was legitimate in their intentions. I think they had agendas. And I think the agenda for, the revision of the code, the charter, should be for the general good. So, I mean, the last charter effort was just, they basically looked for everywhere it said mayor and tried to cut the knees out from the mayor and put in a city administrator. So I think they had something in mind to begin with, which, I see somewhat dubious in that last effort. So if it's the same people that stepped up, then I would question the choice of those people, but not knowing who they are, I can't really respond.
You don't think the people that took the time out of their lives to do all that hard work did any good?
I didn't hear that in his comment.
They brought up the
Do you
issue.
think they had private agendas?
If you're asking what I think, yeah. You're asking what I think, Henry, yes.
Thanks.
Okay.
But
Okay.
my point is that
No,
I'd like to know
I've heard your point,
who the
and I
five
think
are.
we're getting to the 2-minute mark here, so,
Well, thank you.
thank you. Another comment in the room?
I just wanted
Could you
to,
identify yourself, please, by ward, not necessarily by name?
Diane in Ward 2. It sounds like I feel this myself, and it sounds like just in the room that there's a lot of, people wanting to make sure that this situation or this process is like controlled properly and structured properly. And I just wanted to understand if we do have comments for you that is shaping this going out of the gate, when are those comments due for them to actually be?
I would like to get, anybody who wants to comment on this, please respond within a week.
Okay,
Because I want to bring a revised version of this law to this council next month. so that we can, and I want to get it out to you in time so you can think about it. I want you to read the documents that were sent along with the law, including the document that Mr. Kavnicki was referencing. Page 4 of that actually is important information about the structure of commissions.
She didn't
Okay.
finish with her
Sorry.
comment.
Sorry?
She wasn't finished with her comment.
I'm sorry.
She wasn't finished. with-
Oh, I'm sorry.
So just like by next Tuesday, basically.
Yes.
We submit comments, we'll have.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, yeah,
Great comment, one comment.
I can't hear you.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah.
So, and similar to the last group too, also, any group of citizens can also go ahead and revise the charter as well, and then submit it to the council. This is just the council's version
Right.
of doing charter reform, but there's nothing that stops anyone else from creating their own group and, or some person that's a lot of time they have to go ahead and do it themselves, and then submit it to the council.
Good point.
These documents also say, it'll be open meeting.
Everything was,
Meetings will be open, so
Yes.
anyone can attend and comment. and-
Right. okay. Let's see, what, this, all we've got now, or, okay. So, under new business, and, by the way, after we adjourn, are we going to have an attorney client session? We're going to have an attorney client session, so please, wait for that. Under new business, as you know, we, submitted to both, the planning board of the county and to the local planning board, the, suggested revisions or clarification to the code, relating to, the dock usage. I'm giving the local planning board more time to respond, whether we do or do not choose to vote on that or to take action on that. I think it would be worth holding a public hearing. Probably, hopefully within the next 2 weeks, we need to check calendars, but I would like to hear directly from the public about this. To that end, I would like to schedule, if you would check your schedules, I would like to schedule a public hearing so that that can be put out and people can comment on what is in the recommended clarification. Any, yes, excuse me, I can't hear you.
We're gonna have a special.
Yes, yes. The other suggestion, but this is just for public hearings. Okay, public hearings, the public come, they make comments, we don't engage, same rules apply to everybody. However, I think that it would be useful, and has been requested, that, Colarusso be given an opportunity to present their response to this document, and to the situation as a whole. And to that end, the most efficient way I think to do that is to have a special meeting immediately prior to the public hearing, during which meeting, the Colarusso, attorney and or Colarusso can present their take on this, the situation and the clarification that's proposed, and then we can have a public hearing. So that's, if you check your calendars, I will look at some dates. I would like to do this within the next couple of weeks. Jason.
I'd just like to point out to the council and the public that, our Hudson Waterfront submitted a version of the law that was then revised and sent, before it was sent to the planning board. So if any of you thought it was the same, take a look at the document. There were extensive changes, revisions made, in May, I believe.
It was at the May informal meeting, because I was at that meeting and that was what, and it was sent to the local and to the county planning boards the week of May 29th.
And there was substantive changes made.
So essentially, we had something that was brought forward by a resident, and based on data from 2010, and what was sent to the, and what we presented at that night, we said, this is what we're sending. That was the version that went to the planning board. So it has very significant difference in terms of volume, et cetera, compared to what had been submitted by the resident. Okay, so take a look at that. Send me availability for a a public hearing and special meeting, and we can proceed. Any other questions we have? Okay, we have a hand raised in the room. Go ahead.
Steve Begliante, Whiteman House, Manhattan, just two clarifications.
I'm sorry?
Stephen Begliante, Whiteman House, Manhattan.
Yeah.
Two clarifications, the public hearing would be a public hearing for this board, which would be for the planning board.
No, it's going to be this public. It'll be-
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it'll be a common council public hearing.
The submissions to the county planning board and to the local planning board are the current version.
That's correct. They already received it, county responded, local has not responded.
Thank you.
Okay. Any hands raised? Okay,
Yeah,
may we have a motion to adjourn?
I would like to.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. So I believe at the end of the county was disapproved. So there's a June 16th letter in which it's telling me is that they had the updates from May, that the county was operating from the May informal meeting updates. So they were fully cognizant of all those changes that Jason mentioned. And so when the county planning board addressed this issue, it's in the document of this meeting, they disapproved. They disapproved, and then there was some point made at the end of their conclusion that the dock operation, so if the council overrides the disapproval, that then there's like additional requirements for the council to specify that.
It would take 7 votes instead of 6 to pass it.
Okay, that's it.
So, thank you for that comment. Do we have a motion to adjourn? On the motion to adjourn, and second, Rich, all in favor? So we are going to have a attorney fine session. Anybody who made a motion or a second, please make sure you sign